taking over the world, it's time that we dive into how WALL-E tried to warn all of us.
The movie begins with the Earth already gone, destroyed by garbage, mountains of it. The planet suffocated under its own waste while humanity fled to the stars, promising to come back once the robots cleaned it all up. But they never did. For centuries, he's been alone doing the job humanity walked away from, picking up the pieces, compressing them into towers, and treating the leftovers of our world like sacred artifacts. He collected the things we threw away, a Rubik's Cube, a lighter, even an old boot. Objects we called useless, he treats like treasures. And somewhere in that silence, WALL-E becomes more human than the people who created him. Then Eve arrives, a machine of pure perfection sent from an axiom with a single directive: find life. WALL-E is immediately fascinated. She discovers a small green plant that WALL-E had been protecting, and it changes everything. For the first time in centuries, something real has survived. Meanwhile, far away on the Axiom, humanity had reached its final stage of comfort. People laid in hover chairs all day, faces glued to screens, sipping endless fast food drinks while corporate advertisements lull them into obedience. They don't walk, they don't question, and they don't dream. Their ancestors left Earth to escape the consequences of their own actions, and in the process, they lost themselves entirely. According to the movie, people were so fixated on their screens that they completely forgot the world around them existed. A woman gets her screen knocked away and sees the ship's pool for the first time. Despite living her entire life there, the screen was their entire world, and everything outside it just stopped being real. And that's exactly what's happening in real life today. The average American spends around 7 hours and 4 minutes a day staring at their phone, or 22 years of their life, fixated on a digital reality that's not real.
It's gotten to a point where Gen Alpha is entirely reliant on their devices, growing a digital addiction that they cannot seem to stop.
Just look at this kid scrolling an imaginary phone in his sleep. Scrolling has become so imprinted in this child's brain that he scrolls while unconscious. And this type of addiction only increases as he gets older if nothing's done about it. Now imagine this kid multiplied by 2 billion Gen Alpha kids born into technology. 80% of Gen Alpha parents say they let their kids use technology for 7 to 9 hours a day. Then they grow up to become the perfect consumer. TikTok tells them how to think, what to wear, how to talk, who to like, and what to buy. Everything you are as a person is defined by a single entity.
Have you noticed how everyone is starting to literally look the same, dress the same, talk the same, think the same? It's like individualism is disappearing at this point.
The Axiom passengers video call people they are right next to because the screen is the only reality they know. And right at the center of this dystopian reality is BNL. Thanks to the incredible support from you guys, my YouTube channel has gradually turned into a business, and that means handling the boring stuff like documents, expenses, and invoices. That's where Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management software that makes running your business as convenient as possible by bringing everything you need into one platform. Let me show you how I use Odoo to manage all my invoices. First, I head to the invoicing module and hit New to create a fresh invoice. I add my client's name, and Odoo autofills their details if they're already in the system. Then I add the product or service, the quantity, and the price, and the total is calculated automatically. Once it looks good, I confirm it with one click, and it goes from draft to a proper invoice instantly. I can then send it directly to my client by email, right from the platform. No switching tabs, no downloading, no copy pasting, and tracking payments is just as easy. When a client pays, I log it in one click, and Odoo marks the invoice as paid. I can see at a glance what's been paid, what's outstanding, and what's overdue, all from one dashboard. If you run a business or you're building one, it's genuinely a game changer. It saves me so much time I used to spend on admin, and everything stays organized in one place. Start using Odoo's invoicing tool today, completely free, by clicking the link in my description. A corporation called By and Large fed them whatever slop kept them fixated on their screens. BNL, as the film called it, started as a frozen yogurt company in the movie's timeline. It kept acquiring company after company and industry after industry. Agriculture, aerospace, energy, media, and finally, government. By the year 2105, BNL controlled over 2 million subsidiaries and governmental bodies. Its CEO was framed like the President of the United States, standing at a podium, wearing a suit while other characters called him Mr. President. Kids aboard the ship were taught from birth that B is for by and large, your very best friend.
B is for by and large, your very best friend.
By and large was your bank, your grocery store, your government, and your news. BNL was on every screen, every logo, and every voice that spoke to the people on the earth. It started as a convenience, then became a comfort, and finally, a cage. When life on Earth became impossible, it was BNL that promised salvation. They owned the ships, they built the Axiom, and they assured everyone it was temporary. Just a 5-year cruise while the robots cleaned up the planet. But 5 years turned into 700. The company that created the mess became the one controlling the narrative, erasing any memory of the world before them. On the Axiom, the passengers didn't work for BNL. They belonged to it. Every meal, every decision, and every piece of information came from the same source. The adults floated through life in computer-directed hover chairs while BNL's cheerful voice auto quietly dictated what was safe, what was efficient, and what was true. There was no rebellion because people were too stupid to remember what freedom felt like. BNL didn't need to enslave anyone. It simply made life so easy and so automated that people forgot why they'd ever need to think. That's the genius of control. Why force someone into being controlled when you can simply make them so lazy that they willingly give up their freedom for your propaganda? Karl Marx, a German philosopher, warned that if we allow comfort and consumption to replace our creative human essence, we risk becoming well-fed prisoners of our own inventions. This scenario is what the BNL Corporation pacifies. Marx's prediction was that unbridled capitalism would eventually produce too many useful things at the cost of making people useless. In our world, it's not BNL that own us. It's 1,000 smiling logos doing the same work. Our food, news, entertainment, and even our sense of identity now come packaged and personalized by the same handful of corporations. BlackRock manages over $14 trillion in assets. That's more than the GDP of every country on the planet except the United States and China. But that number only describes the money BlackRock manages directly. Its risk management system, a platform called Aladdin, oversees roughly $21 trillion in financial decisions, including for competitors, central banks, and the US Treasury. One algorithm built by one company processes risk calculations for about 10% of the world's stocks and bonds. And BlackRock doesn't just manage money in the abstract, it's the second largest shareholder in every single one of the biggest 7 tech stocks: Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, Alphabet, and Tesla. It holds about 7% of Apple, roughly 6% of Amazon, and around 6.7% of Disney. Its top 5 holdings alone are worth over $1 trillion. The company that makes your phone, the company that runs your search engine, the company that owns your streaming service, and the company that built the theme park your family visits every summer, all share a common thread back to one corporation. So let's walk through your day. Your alarm goes off. It's on your iPhone. BlackRock is one of Apple's largest shareholders. You check Instagram while you're still in bed, thumb scrolling before your eyes are fully open. BlackRock is one of Meta's largest shareholders. You commute and put on Spotify or YouTube. BlackRock holds stakes in both Alphabet and Spotify. You grab a coffee at Starbucks on the way to work. BlackRock. You sit down at your desk and open Microsoft software. BlackRock. You come home, turn on Disney Plus or Netflix. And yet again, BlackRock holds significant positions in both. You order dinner through your phone, pay with your Visa card, and the restaurant you ordered from probably leases its building from a real estate investment trust whose largest shareholders include, you guessed it, BlackRock. From the second your alarm wakes you to the second you fall asleep with your phone on your chest, you are moving through a world that one company has a financial interest in keeping exactly the way it is. And just like BNL, BlackRock didn't take any of this by force. They just made everything so convenient that freedom became almost pointless without them. And they're going even further. In December 2025, Instagram launched Reels on TV. They said people already spend a lot of time scrolling on their phones, so expanding that experience onto a larger screen would make it even more convenient and enjoyable. But Zuckerberg is creating a solution to a problem no one asked for because he realized that the easier it is to make his product consumable, the more control they can have over their users. On the Axiom, the last humans alive had lost bone density from microgravity. They were obese and couldn't walk. They looked like giant infants, which is precisely what Andrew Stanton wanted to convey. Robots did everything for them, woke them up, groomed them, dressed them, and put them back in their floating chairs when they fell out. They consumed what by and large told them to consume, and their bodies became the evidence of what that consumption produces when it goes unchecked for long enough. Stanton called it a science fiction background to the love story he was telling. But at Disney World right now, they're called the plus-sized park hoppers. They range in clothing sizes from 2XL to 5XL in their own words, and they've built an entire content platform around documenting what is and isn't accessible to them at Disney properties. They've made videos explaining which mobility scooter rental companies to use, which anti-chafing balm to rub on your thighs, where to park your car so you can avoid walking, and how to test ride seats before committing to a queue.
Hey everyone, we're Plus Size Park Hoppers. Come along with us as we embark on our first ever Disney cruise. We stayed the night before our cruise at All Star Music so we could use Disney transportation to get to the port. We started our day with the Breakfast of Champions Mickey Waffle.
These people have crafted their entire identities around Disney, defending them like a religion and spending thousands of dollars only to get exploited with price hikes by the corporation. And the worst part is, they probably don't know it. To them, Disney is everything. It's the source of their joy, it's their happiness, and just like in WALL-E, it's their entire reality. That's what makes it hard to watch, because they're merely a symptom of the real problem. The entire environment was designed so that the path of least resistance was to stay seated and keep consuming. And the system was so perfectly optimized to fight criticism or judgment that even licensed dietitians on TikTok are reacting to plus-size park hopper and saying they shouldn't be judged.
Honestly, it looks like a bunch of people enjoying themselves at Disney and trying all of the fun foods on offer. Just like every and any other Disney influencer, for many families, it is a once-in-a-lifetime trip. So what you eat at Disney isn't going to be your everyday routine.
These women go every other month, and the content they create becomes the justification. The justification enables the consumption. The consumption creates more content. And the corporation profits from every single rotation of that wheel. And that's the same loop, by and large, designed for the Axiom passengers. On the ship, B&L controlled what you saw, what you ate, what you wore, and where you went. The passengers didn't even know they were inside a system because the system felt like a choice. They could pick between a red jumpsuit and a blue jumpsuit, but B&L made both. Nobody forced anyone onto the Axiom, but the chair was built to feel like freedom. WALL-E was a warning about us, about where we're heading if we're not careful. That convenience is not all it seems, that you will be taken advantage of if given the chance. The film showed us what happens when someone trusts the system and becomes so stupid that it took a robot to save humanity. That's the prophecy, that's the timeline, and if we can't change it, we'll be doomed forever.
Can we just normalize letting people have fun